I want to come here and help you guys in a role where it assists with that rather than drains you. And that means I've got to transition from where I currently am in a way that has a revenue stream rather than I'm somebody that needs to be here for room and board.
I don't see you here. That's not in any of the life paths.
It's not in the life paths. Okay. Give me some potential life paths then. And what I need to overcome to actually not repeat the past patterns.
You're unsafe to people. It's ironic that you're sitting next to each other. I'm just going to use this opportunity to call you out on a major shadow.
Please do.
People do not feel safe around you. They feel highly manipulative. So there's a feeling around you that you're not actually tuned into somebody's needs. That all you're doing is figuring out their needs so you can use it to your advantage. It gives you the vibration of a creep. That is the dominant energy that I've been watching this weekend and also tapping into before this weekend. And it's a problem because people gravitate away from you, and it's unfair because you don't even know why that's happening. So what you need to do is to really start to see yourself through other people's eyes.
That's why you said the puzzle pieces were so huge.
Yeah. So right now you're sinking into an energy that's safer, much more safe. Believe me when I tell you that it would surprise you if you were actually aware of how unauthentic you are still. How the majority of what you do and say is designed specifically to get a certain perception. You know what I mean?
I have a clue what you mean. More details would be good.
Okay. I'll use an analogy. Let's say you've got a businessman who's highly successful. Everything he does, everything he says, every car he buys is designed for one thing, and that's to try to get people to see him in that way. You are just the spiritual version of that man. Meaning everything you say, everything you do is designed to get people to see you in the way that you want them to see you.
And how much I hate that man that used an example. I was trying not to be that man.
I know. Well, that's because it's a shadow. What we find when we're really resistant to a certain way of being is it's usually because it's inside us. It's our suppressed self. And that suppressed self, though, because we're in rejection of it, it owns our reality. It owns every aspect of us. So, this is your practice. It's almost like I want you to be watching everything you do. And I know you are capable of doing that because you've been in spiritual practice long enough to disidentify. Before you have an interaction, I want you to disidentify, and before you say a word, I want you to think, what am I wanting their reaction to be? That is how you're going to be completely aware of this pattern inside you. You're going to become how acutely aware you are of what you say and the reaction you're going to get from it. Because right now it happens so fast you don't even know that's in your mind.
Yes, I know. I've been trying to work on how to create that space.
Okay. I know it's difficult for you to hear what I just said, but it's going to change the dynamic of the rest of your life because it is painful to be in a position where people run away from you, especially women.
And this week, for a time, numerous times I've felt like I'd actually, okay, I've managed the shift. People are starting to approach me. I've not used my fame and fortune to impress them, etc. And then every time I turn around, oh man, how'd that one happen?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then after you're aware of how acutely you manipulate other people's perceptions of you, which feels on an energetic level like being controlled, basically. I need you to try to care about what other people need. Because and this is another deflection pattern. You and she have the same shadow, by the way, about that.
Yeah, I figured that one out already. That's why her question was so useful to me.
Yeah.
That's why I was willing to ask this one.
Nobody wants to know. That's the reality. Unless they have shown up in a place, in a location where they know that you're the teacher, they don't want it. That's just something you should know. It doesn't matter whether it's me, doesn't matter whether it's you, doesn't matter whether it's you. They don't want it. So, what people want is to be seen, heard, felt, and understood. So when you walk up to them, that is the foot you start out on. You will see a position in a relationship where they feel seen, heard, and understood enough that they may ask you for what your opinion is. But my suggestion is to not offer it. And you will be much more accompanied in life.
And I go blank on what are good questions to ask. I have tried coming up with lists of questions. I have tried coming up with them on the spot. And
That's because you're not attuned. That's the thing. If you're really attuned to somebody, you know what I mean by attunement? This would be good for the entire group, by the way. Attunement is, I'll do it with you. Okay, so like attunement. I've brought myself to a place where all of my focus right now, all of me. Do you feel that none of me is back here or over
Yes.
here? All of me is here. Now I'm attuning to your frequency. I'm feeling into you. I'm looking into you. I'm hearing into you. And it doesn't matter whether I'm in a space of quiet when I'm doing that. The point is that is where I am at this moment, is you. I am with you. When I feel that, maybe I perceive a little bit of sadness. So maybe, depending on how well I know you, if we're family members, I might say, I feel like you're sad right now. You want to talk to me about that? But if we're not, I might say, so how are you feeling today? And then if they give me an answer like, I'm fine, I might be like, depending, you feel the person out. Okay, well, how are you really, though? You know?
How do you know if you're wrong?
Well, that's the thing about a question. You're never wrong about a question.
Well, actually, I have, at this retreat, asked numerous questions where I thought I felt in, and their reaction was like I was projecting into them with the question.
That's just because of the original pattern I told you that you have. It's the creep thing. It's the manipulation. You already established yourself as an unsafe person, so you have no rapport. So because you lost the rapport with people from the minute you set foot here, when you walk up to them, they're already braced against you. They're not going to offer anything to you. So that's that attitude. When people can feel manipulation, and I don't want you to go haywire with that word, because manipulation is, as we know, I just can't ask for my needs to be met directly. I have to do it indirectly. When people can feel that manipulation, you become the enemy. So if you say, I have a question, they're going to be like, fuck you, man. That's like an enemy asking me, just fill in the blank for vulnerability. There's no way in hell I'm going to give that to you. So.
Yeah, that's been my life all right.
Yeah. And I'm aware that some of this is confusing because it's almost like you have to get your feet wet in this concept for you to really understand what I'm saying. It has to be experiential.
Which is why I'm wanting the intentional community that will process so that I can get enough of it that I finally get it.
Me too, but at this point, I really don't foresee anybody letting you into an intentional community based on this vibration. So
Yeah, I had 2 years in one, and I ended up being the center of attention unjustly. And yes, it would not be wise to go back to that one anyway.
Yeah. If I were in your position, me as you, I would start working on this out in society, but in like the society that exists currently. And I would start to practice on individuals that I came across, especially new ones, not ones that are in your life currently. And I would really start to play in that atmosphere before I feel like going into an intentional community. Because that's the other thing too. So much of what's in you, the unmet need, right, is please like me, if I'm going to put a voice to it, okay? Please like me, please like me, please like me, please like me, please. So basically because because you've got that unmet needs, so to speak, it's gonna backfire because underneath that is nobody likes me, nobody likes me, nobody likes me, and it's such a dominant vibration, you're gonna get rejected. And my other issue with that is because manipulation is all about I can't voice my own needs. There is no way in fucking hell you're going to find an intentional community from this vibrational set point that is right for you, because you don't know what your needs are. It's almost like you'd get into an intentional community that didn't even necessarily fit what you desire, but with an attitude of please like me, please like me, please like me, please like me. It could be the totally wrong place for you as a person. So until you get way more in touch with what your needs actually are, we're not going to be able to find the right intentional community for you.
And doing that, yes, I've been struggling at that too, trying to get in touch with what my actual needs are.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not a lie that you don't like mission. But this is good for everybody here to actually have this conversation right now. In general, there are two dominant types of intentional community. There's intentional communities that are centered all around connection. That's the kind of intentional community where everybody has their own thing going but comes to the center for the connection. The second type of intentional community is what we call a mission-based intentional community. It's usually centered around a business or centered around some sort of world mission or permaculture or something like that. You are so much about connection. Like so much about connection that my panic is that you would get into a mission-based community and you'd be doing those things just so that you could get connection when the day ends.
I've been living mission all my life. That's why I've done the things I'm sort of known for. People deny me the recognition which would allow me to do more.
Yeah, see, but that's you saying I'm manipulating people to get connection through mission. Now here's the thing. You're completely accurate that you are a mission-based person. There are some people that aren't, by the way, and then I get to have the conversation where I'm like, you're fucking lying to yourself completely. But you do like mission because you're a visionary. You're not an implementer. That's the issue. When you start to implement your vision is when you're manipulating to get connection.
Yeah,
You are a visionary.
But as a visionary, I have to build a team, and the connection issue keeps the teams from becoming what they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So in the future, you will be doing mission-based things, kind of, but you need to understand that your primary intention for intentional community is connection. You want it so goddamn bad. The loneliness in your being is palpable. So you need to know that going into these relationships. And you're actually in a better position than most people are for a connection-based intentional community based on the fact that you do have an abundance stream already. You're not going to be sucking off of people based on that, and you can bring a lot to an intentional community based on that. But you need to know that's what your number one desire is.
Any more?
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is it okay if I ask a question along those lines? It has to do with boundaries, yours, mine, and what she said earlier. You okay with that?
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
I'm not sure what's gonna come. Yeah.
Wait, let's stop right here.
Yes, that's boundary here.
This is
too.
perfect.
I'm sorry.
This is perfect. You ready? We're gonna have an honesty moment, and you better get used to it, because this week that you're heading up towards, it's fucking intense.
Yeah. I'm ready.
There's nothing like being with me for 3 days straight, getting drilled. All right. So, he doesn't make you feel safe, does he?
No.
Why? And I need you to be brutally fucking honest, because the reality is, like, his life needs to change relative to relationships. That's why he's here. So you be fucking honest.
Yeah, I feel like he's making things up in his mind that he imagines with me, a connection with me that I don't want to approve, I don't approve of. And I hate feeling someone coming into me, and when I don't give him permission to come into me, and
Then what's preventing you from telling him straight? Because this is another pattern of his with women. He lines up with women with horrific boundaries,
Yeah.
and because they want to be so nice,
Yeah.
they just go.
You know, I don't want to say no or tell you. I mean, we've had the, you know, the 4 of us going through these steps.
You don't want to reject him because
I don't want to hurt you.
there you go. Because if you hurt him,
Oh no, you're going to crumble down and go into.
and if he did, what would that be? Why would that be so bad?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
If he did, why would that be so bad? If you made him crumble, why would that be so bad?
He goes into a spiral with. It's gonna be involve more people. It's gonna, you know, you're pulling in more, sucking in more. So I kind of like took it on me to, you know, keep up.
But I'm going with something more vulnerable in you. If you cause a guy to implode and go into a downward spiral, what does that mean about you?
Not me.
Yeah. That's really all we're worried about anyways, at the end of the day. So.
No, I'm actually in blank right now.
If you made him spiral, I'll make it even more aggressive. You make him spiral, he attracts everybody's attention, he pulls it like a vortex into him, including my energy, and you're the one that caused the whole thing. Why is that so bad?
It's really bad because it's affecting me a lot and affecting the others. If I just would have
Yeah,
put
if
up
you
one
caused
boundary.
that.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Why? What does it mean
Because I
about you?
didn't. About me.
Yeah. What does it mean?
I can't say that word even. Manipulating as well. In that sense.
Yeah. No, it just means you're a bad guy. I'm just gonna push you straight to the line. It means you're a bad guy. If you cause another person to feel rejected and then everybody has to deal with the crisis you created, you're a bad guy. So what you're trying to do is to not be the bad guy. That's what you're concerned with. You care a lot about being good. You and every woman here. Pretty much. We have one exception, but pretty much every woman who's sitting here, that's their primary care, actually.
Yeah.
And so nobody's going to tell him when he's doing that. And so he's going to be confused. Because he's like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm being nice. I'm coming up to people, and then it's just, where'd she go?
Yeah.
So, good reflection moment. I don't feel the same connection. Why don't you feel the same connection out of curiosity? I realize I'm pushing you.
No, I'm good with this because you're headed exactly down the road I was headed. I'm on the side of I was just trying to get an honest answer, and I realized that our issues directly head connected, and if she was willing, I was willing to learn from one another, and it didn't have to be anything permanent.
Why are you shaking your head now?
I'm scared of that. I'm scared of that. Like, I don't, you're not the one I wanted. I don't know why.
Just say it. We're going to become
want to.
conscious. This is a conscious moment.
I know, I realize my boundaries, that you trigger in me, and, which is good, but there is a certain depth I don't want to go with you.
Why? Why?
Because I don't feel that heart connection or intimacy.
Exactly.
I
So
wanna
why?
share.
But this is where we get surfacey. Okay. Now a typical woman will look at a guy like him and say, I'm just not attracted. That is a fucking cop out. Because you can be attracted to anybody. Did you know that? So the real question is, why don't you want to share yourself with this man? Become conscious of it. This is the moment. He's never going to be able to get this feedback from an average female. Better now.
Apart from these superficial things.
Pretend you're talking to your girlfriend behind his back.
Oh God.
Don't be. I do not want to hear sorry. I want to hear the real you. I need honesty because that doesn't waste my time.
Yeah, okay, right. There is this sleaziness I feel from you, and I don't know how to. I mean, I've told you.
So look at me. What's sleazy about him? No, you're talking to your girlfriend behind his back. You just get to
Yeah.
observe this. I'm your girlfriend. We're behind his back. He's not here. So what's sleazy about him?
I feel like he's using the things that he can do well, like talk about tantra and talk about spirituality, which will connect with me because I'm into that.
Yeah.
So of course that's like I feel like he wants to dig out the things that he can hold on to and connect with me, and I didn't approve of that. I didn't give him the go to do it, and he's like already in and.
He's using it to do what with you? What's his intention?
I mean, like little words when I feel like whispered in my ear, and I'm like, oh God, that's not my.
Because what does he want from you?
I had to open up, and I don't want to open up to him. To really connect, to open like for going really deep with him, to like experience like where our roots are, where the root triggers come from. And I'm not willing to give him that.
Because what's he going to do with it?
Use it against me. To really use it again. To stay connected, to stay like, to suck me in.
There we go. How many women here, but we're going to have an honesty moment, how many women felt that exact same way? So basically what she is saying is that, you know, that part of you that wants connection so bad
It's exactly what you said earlier.
is going to use anything to do it. So there's a difference between I'm genuinely going to talk about something that does interest me because it interests us both, and the feeling of I'm going to figure out every goddamn thing that you think, that you feel, that you're interested in, specifically so I can make it so you can't separate from me, so you can't reject me. Does that make sense?
It does. And I actually have sensed that that's how the other, or I should say how the woman is feeling, but I've not been able in myself. My intention is not to draw in and use it.
But it is.
Well,
This is where we need to stop,
okay.
or else it's never going to be overcome. That is your intention. Regardless of whether you are conscious of it or not, that is what you're doing. Intentionally. Intentionally, you feel so incapable of creating a lasting connection where someone will want to stay out of their own volition that emotionally, it's like spider webs. Does that make sense? The spider webs may be pretty. They may involve all the things you've learned in a tantric workshop. But it's the spider web. Now I know everything I need to know about her.
And now I'm a prisoner.
And I want you to make you aware of another imprisonment. Another one of these spider webs that you use is crying. Something that you need to know is that your crying is not entirely authentic. And so when you cry in front of a woman, you make her even more incapable of rejecting you. It's another spider web.
So I've got to now more embrace the macho that I hate side of me.
No. You've got to try to find underneath the aspect of you that's so desperate to control that connection through any means that you can. You've got to find the aspect of you that is real.